Café Anyway. That's right. It's mine. Here we are.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to episode 2650.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
2650. It's Mike Matthews. It's nifty. It's sometime during the summer, and you might be really hot and sweaty, and it's a bummer. But you know, if you have to, at the end of the year, call somebody whose thing he does is he's a plumber, because the roots start to eat into your pipes and clog everything up.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's something that I don't look forward to at the end of every summer, is calling the Roto-Rooter guy. But here we go. It's Mike.
Daily.
Did I just give a free plug
Podcast
to Roto-Rooter?
Yeah.
And the word plug was so difficult to say all of a sudden. But, you know, yes, that's an issue I run into. And I got one of those, like, plumber type things that go into the snakes that go into the pipe, and it's all mechanical. But I've had it seriously mess up before, so I don't know. Is it worth it to buy one of those things? I'm not thinking it is. But today there is a huge amount of excitement in the air because Taylor Swift performed last night, and she's performing again tonight in the Santa Clara, San Jose area, what we call the South Bay of the Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland up towards the north, San Francisco on the west side, Oakland on the east side of the bay as you look at the map. And it is that time of year where you lip smack and go, wow. That's just... Mike's been doing a podcast now for 2,650 episodes, episodes. Not as long as Taylor Swift has had a career, though, because she got started in the mid-O's. I remember a concert, and as the program director, I was in charge of being the head of a big promotions thing to advertise our radio station.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And we parked right outside of the concert, but we weren't allowed to go into the concert because a radio station that had been in the area for decades, that was their spot. They were the only ones allowed by the concert, which is stupid. That whole thing was just ridiculous. And that's just one of the things that makes me angry about Alabama, because that's where it happened. I know the late great Basil the Boxer and I were both angry about that. Oh no, wait, I didn't have Basil yet when I was in Alabama. But you can see a picture of him in the last podcast picture, episode 2649, the one that we called Eons, because I was thinking back to eons ago when Taylor Swift first got popular and she was really big on the country charts. So we sat there giving away free barbecue sandwiches. Let's see, it was pulled pork sandwiches there in Alabama, just outside of the really big base that they have down there. And they were having a concert on the base, which I don't know exactly how that is even allowed, but that's Alabama. So we did that. I woke up super early. I had to do a live remote from another location on the other side of town. On the other side, I think about maybe 30 or 40 miles away, and then drive to this event. And I was so tired. And I think my then wife and I had just had an argument earlier because she didn't understand why I had to work so hard. But I said, you know, I chose radio as my career long before I met you, and you knew that, and that's just how it was. So it was hot. It was a hot Alabama day.
Mike, it's Mikey Fikey.
And the only place we could park was this area that the radio station had some kind of affiliation with. Somebody there was a client. I think it was a barber shop, and they had a big parking lot. So we sat there, and if anybody would drive into the parking lot, we would give them a free sandwich. Well, that required them to get out of line. There was a big line with cars, big traffic jam. Traffic jams only happen in California. Alabama had some doozy traffic jams, and this was one of them. So it required people to get out of line in their cars and drive over to get the sandwich. We were giving away T-shirts.
Wine.
Well, I like
The whiny white man wine list.
I remember coming home. That's right. And my then wife's mom and grandmother were visiting from California. That's right. Oh, what a horrible, horrible day. We were, entertaining guests. And then I get home. I'm so tired. I just want to go to sleep. And the radio station goes off the air. So I had to go all the way from my house to the radio station. Was about a 20-30 minute drive. But I was so tired. And, yeah, not a wonderful day that day. Thanks, Taylor Swift, for causing all that headache. But thankfully, I don't work for any radio stations that are tailgating or Taylor-gating or whatever they're calling it. And actually, the city where the concert's taking place, they're not allowing tailgates officially. But they said also they have no way to enforce that rule. But she, like any place she goes to do a concert, brings in a ton of money to all the local hotels and restaurants.
This is interesting.
Wow, this is interesting.
I was listening to a radio station playing nothing but Taylor Swift, and not just playing the hits, playing a lot of album cuts, as we call them. And she really has quite a repertoire and a lot of different styles. Her real country banjo-y, like every song she had a banjo on it back in the early days. Because she was pop leaning that back then. But to pull her back into the country world, she had her country roots, definitely. Her family was living in Tennessee. But she was from, I think, a northern state originally, I forget. But she had... There was the producers for her early stuff. Is that the Shooter Jennings or whoever his name was? Shooter something. They were... That guy, that manager, put a banjo on everything. So a lot of her early stuff's got banjos or acoustic guitars or fiddle, lots of steel guitar to make it country. And then all that disappeared. And it was all synthesizers and drum machines. And I'm a big fan of a lot of her stuff. I like Style, You Need to Calm Down, the Anti-Hero song. I was quoting the lyrics when that song came out, going, what? It's tea time? Everybody agrees. There was all kinds of bizarre lyrics in that song to me. So would I want to go to the concert? I would if I didn't have to deal with the fans. They're wonderful people, but it's just, I hate dealing with traffic, concert traffic. At 54, I've dealt with a lot of concert traffic over my years. As we go outside of Café Anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. The last place on earth. Hey, it's a Taylor Swift after party. And you know what also? I don't know how it got started, why we call her Tay-Tay. I don't get that, but it has definitely made it great for local radio stations. Because they'll throw a Tay in their name.
First of all, I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
It's Mike Taylor's podcast, or so. It's easy to place in the name of your radio station or your podcast. So yes, she's made herself very accessible. And back in the early days, she visited all these radio stations. I was one of them. Got to meet her real quick. Yeah. So, success and glory could go to a much worse person. I think she deserves it, and if everybody's having fun, and if it's making all the other boats lift up, like the rising tide, I don't have a problem with it, if you know what I mean. I don't know exactly what that sentence was, but there you go. Outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Tesla has been falling on margins. Their shares went down 6% after imprecise commentary from Elon Musk and insights into the Cybertruck, a planned robo-taxi-ready car. Musk cautioned that Tesla would target 1.8 million vehicle deliveries this year, but that production will be a little bit down because we've got the summer shutdowns for factory upgrades. So Tesla slashed prices and their margins fell to 9.6% was the lowest results for at least the last 5 quarters.
MTV News. You hear it first.
So I guess that's a little over 2 years. But Musk didn't offer precise delivery volumes for new Cybertrucks, only saying that the Cybertruck would be produced in high volume next year, with an unknown quantity being delivered this year. The Cybertruck does not have an open bed. What? There's no feasible way to mount racks. What? What's the point? You won't be able to use Cybertrucks to move ladders, haul drywall, or load anything that does not fit inside. So I had a pickup truck like that for a long time that had a camper shell on the back. And it was really only good for sleeping in. However, it was very musky and icky in there because when it rained, the camper top thingy it wasn't sealed correctly, so a lot of water dripped in, and so it had an awful moldy smell. Hey, it was really great. You know, there is a very bizarre country musician story involved with that. If I may sing it now. There was a country singer that was big. As big as Taylor Swift was at one point. She had a #1 hit on the country charts. Her name was Shelley Wright. Her song was called Single White Female. That went to #1. And she was visiting Ventura. She had just performed at a show in downtown Ventura. And she asked if, hey, can you take us to a bar by the beach? And I said, sure. So I took her and her friend in my car, but I said, I got to get some stuff out of the front seat. And I'm taking it to the back with that camper shell thing I was mentioning. And I lifted up the little hatch, those little hydraulic hatches that always fall on your head. They just don't stay up long enough. And it unfortunately hit Shelley Wright's head. And she joked about it later at a little concert she did for us later. She said, yeah, Mike.
It's a nightmare of a show.
I'll never forget you because of that. I said, oops. So, it is, hopefully they make those a little bit stronger on the Cybertruck there with the Elon Musk. Elon Musk he was married to someone, I can't think of her, she's a British actress, but she starred in a Richard Curtis movie. Richard Curtis did Love Actually, also did a movie that I enjoyed because it kind of pertained to my line of work called Pirate Radio. And she showed up in that it'll come to me in a second. I might have to use a search engine of some sort to remember her name. But so they divorced long ago. This is before Grimes and everything else. And she married a guy from another Richard Curtis movie. From Love Actually. The kid that was, I guess was Liam Neeson's son or stepson. And yeah, so those two recently got married, I found out. And she was also in a Doctor Who episode where, wow, Elon Musk's Wikipedia page is huge. Dang, it goes on and on and on. There's a legal matters section, a public perception. Let's see. He was Tallulah Riley. Yes. Oh, wow. He's had an interesting personal life. He met his first wife, Canadian author Justine Wilson, while attending Queen's University in Ontario, Canada. They married in 2000. In 2002, their first child died of sudden infant death syndrome at the age of 10 weeks. After his death, the couple decided to use IVF to continue their family. They had twins in 2004, followed by triplets in 2006. What? They divorced in 2008 and shared custody of their 5 children. In 2022, one of the twins officially changed their name to reflect her gender identity as a trans woman and to use Wilson as her last name because she no longer wished to be associated with Musk. Musk blamed the estrangement of his daughter on what the Financial Times characterized as the supposed takeover of elite schools and universities by neo-Marxists. Then, in 2008, that's when he began dating English actress Tallulah Riley. They married 2 years later in Scotland at a famous cathedral. In 2012, the couple divorced. But then they remarried the following year. After briefly filing for divorce in 2014.
Fair and unbalanced.
Then he dated Amber Heard for several months in 2017. He had reportedly been pursuing her since 2012. Johnny Depp later accused Musk of having an affair with Heard while she was still married to Depp. Musk and Heard both denied the affairs. And then we had Grimes, and then, okay. So, yes, Tallulah Riley married the guy from, is this recently updated? Brody Sangster, Thomas Brody Sangster. They were working on something called Pistol. So, that's a TV show. And that's, she was also briefly in the TV show Endeavor, which I particularly like that show. Right now, we're watching Luther, my lovely lady friend and I, with Idris Elba. I wonder if Tallulah will show up in that. She seems to show up in a lot of British shows that I watch.
Later that day.
Okay, enough about that. So, Netflix, apparently business is good. They added 5.9 subscribers. Its two primary 2023 initiatives, cracking down on password sharing and launching a cheaper $6.99 per month advertising tier, are bringing in new subscribers. It worked, and they added 1.2 million subscribers in the United States. That is its largest regional quarterly gain since 2021. Paramount Global and Comcast NBC Universal said 2023 will be the biggest annual loss ever for their streaming businesses. Let's see, Paramount, is it called Paramount Plus? And I think the NBC one is the Peacock channel, or just called Peacock. Netflix boosted its free cash flow, and they're recently going to raise prices too, Peacock. Netflix boosted its free cash flow estimate to $5 billion for the year. That's up from $3.5 billion, but the actors and writers' strike is going to cut down on the content, on what's being spent on the content. For Netflix, streaming is growing. Cash piles are rising. Advertising has investors excited, and they have a steady pipeline of international content. I know somebody who works there. He must be happy. I haven't talked to him lately. Need to check up on him. In fact, he might be listening to this podcast. Give me a call, Vince. Call the line that the Café Anyway line, which is 510-228-4640, if you didn't know. Netflix noted that the basic plan, which cost $9.99 and didn't feature ads, was no longer available for new or rejoining members. So I quit Netflix long ago. I got so upset. I'm like, what's this stupid show? What's this stupid show? What's it? What movie? I don't want to see that movie. I don't want to see that. I'm just not into violent stuff. Now, my lovely lady friend loves it. So she likes it, Netflix, but because of all the content, I'm not too happy with the content. I quit it back at the beginning of 2018, but then I met her and I'm watching it again. So, dang, it's got that kind of, an orbit that you can't escape. Petco is coming to Lowe's. That's right, inside of Lowe's, where they do the store within store thing lately, they've got a Petco going to be showing up soon. Don't know how much stuff that Petco will have compared to a regular Petco, but... And frozen vegetable prices are up 18% on average over the past year because of heavy winter precipitation here in California. We are the largest U.S. vegetable producer. You're welcome. It flooded farmlands and reduced crop supply. Higher costs were then for cold storage, and the war in Ukraine and immigration trends also are to blame. This all from Rob Black. I produce his podcast, and he does so if you want to find his podcast, it is called The Rob Black Show. You can listen to it anywhere. He's got a lot of great content that he talks about financial stuff. Outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Look. Who's here? It's not Taylor Swift. Hi, Matt. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How ya do? It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what. What? You know, I remember back when it was all about Tanya Tucker. Tanya Tucker, this Tanya Tucker, that. Now it's all Taylor Swift, Tay. I mean, come on. Yeah. Trends. Things happen. I don't think Tanya Tucker had as big a pop career. Dolly Parton, she had some pop hits. Like, He'll Come Again, what's that one? And Working 9 to 5, and I'll Always Love You, and all that stuff. Oh, hilarious little side note. I was listening to a local radio station commenting on all the traffic being caused by the Taylor Swift concert, and he goes, yeah, a lot of traffic being caused tonight by the Taylor Dane concert. And I said, Taylor Dane, really? I'll always love you for the rest of my days. Prove your love, got to prove your love. Tell it to my heart. Tell me I'm the only one. Honey, I'll be your shelter. I'll be the one to get you through the night. If you want to see a cool live performance of Taylor Dane doing that song, go to my YouTube channel, Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. I think you can get to it through Mike'sDailyPodcast.com, or you just go to, I think you just type in my name, Mike Matthews, and it'll pop up. Or it's youtube.com/Mike'sDailyPodcast. But yeah, I got a playlist of over 100 songs. It's called the Best Obscure Rock Songs Found by Mike Matthews. And that's one of them. Because she rocks. Taylor Dane. Woo! Okay, where else? Who else is here? Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now. Excellent. Let me try that right now because it, Oh, that's pretty bad. Oh. Drink it right now, I'll cut you. I just did, and I regret it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We'll call that the Oh, boy root beer. Oh, boy. Hey, you know what? It's time now for a great segment called Let's Go Back with Matthews. Yes, let's go back with Matthews, with Mike Matthews. That'd be me.
All right,
let's go back to a time in radio when it was cool, when you were able to do all kinds of crazy fun stuff. I guess the radio station today that's playing nonstop Taylor Swift, that's pretty cool stuff. I guess there are some cool things happening today. But back in the day, I was on country radio and doing a little bit of an interesting thing. I would like to display to you some of the crazy things and goofy things and fun things we used to do. I recently found a bunch of cassettes that were full of this stuff, so I've been trying to transcribe it all digitally. And this is going back 20 years ago.
100.7 KHAY with KA's Matt Michaels.
You guys met at the fair?
At the county fair, yeah.
At the Ventura County Fair?
Yes, sir, we did.
What were you guys doing? Were you raising pigs?
I was in FA and she was just walking around, and I met her and I gave her a stuffed animal, and we've been dating ever since.
Oh, that's cute. Did you steal the stuffed animal, or how'd you want it?
I won it, and I won her a bigger one after that.
Okay. All right, see now, because you want it, and that shows that you've got that skill. What was it? What game was it?
It was the one where you pick the bottle up with the bottle.
That's yeah, the fishing pole bottle thing. That's tricky.
Yeah, it is, but we won.
Oh boy! So, have you guys gone fishing yet?
No, I haven't taken her. I don't think she likes fishing, but I'll get her into it.
Did you go on any of the rides that were really, that made you want to vomit?
I don't get sick on rides.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, boy. Well, you're young. When you get older, a lot more fat is in between your ears, and when that wobbles, you get a little sick. Faith Hill with Tim McGraw, just to hear you say that you love me. Blessed, Martina McBride, just before that. On the way next, Leanne Rhymes, and we'll get a special interview going with new artist Rodney Redman. He's on the Audium Records label, and we will hear some live music. He'll be playing for us at the K Santa Fe Cafe. So let's go. We're leaving the K studio, walking out to the Matt bus, and Felix, the bus driver, picking us up and taking us to the cafe.
Where to, Matt?
The cafe.
Well, this is my night job. During the day, I remove tattoos.
Oh, boy, that's good.
$1 million? Mere.
Hey!
Welcome to the Santa Fe Cafe.
Thank you, Joe.
On 100.7 KHAY Ventura.
It's Can You Talk Like a Robot night at the cafe. We got Rodney Redman gonna be in here in just a sec. Gonna hear his new song, and he'll be singing for you. And we're also gonna hear from Shania Twain, Rascal Flatts, Alan Jackson, Brooks and Dunn's new one coming up to the Dixie Chicks. Right now, Leanne Rhymes, one-way ticket because I can. This is Matt Michaels. Let's get this party started!
This is John.
And this is Charlie with the Early Morning Country Club.
Oh my gosh, Matt's got another phone call.
Jesse?
Yeah.
That's just Jesse?
Yeah.
That's a guy named Kevin Denny. He's like this new guy.
Okay, thank you.
He's kind of scary looking.
Okay.
No, actually, he's really good looking. But wouldn't that be funny if there was some new country artist that came out and you heard the DJ say, "This is so-and-so, and he's scary looking."
You should say that one time.
Okay.
6. Aw, that was a young Taylor Swift who called me up. No, maybe not. Rodney who? Rodney Redman? I don't know who. What the heck ever happened to Rodney Redman on John and Charlie? I don't think either of them are in radio anymore. I hope they're both alive. I don't know. It's been a while. But yes, that was radio back in Ventura 20 years ago.
Oh, KHAY. It is Can You Talk Like a Robot night at the K Santa Fe Cafe. That was Rascal Flatts, Shania Twain. Just before that, coming up, Alan Jackson, Jody Messina's new one, Winona, coming up too. And you and I are going outside to the parking lot of the K Santa Fe Cafe to see how the parking situation is with Valentino, the parking attendant.
Oh, there, Matt, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I am big friends with Anthony Daniels,
All right.
Anthony Daniels plays C-3PO in all the Star Wars movies,
No.
Yeah.
And that movie, it's debuting in like less than 2 hours, less than an hour and a half.
That's right. In fact, I have him here in the parking lot right now.
Okay. Anthony, wow, it's great to have you here. It amazes me how you've been playing the same part over and over again.
But I had to lose about 10 pounds to get in this one, I tell you. It's the same suit as I had 25 years ago. Same suit. And were they going to change it? No, Rick McCollum, the producer, said, you can lose weight.
Oh, yeah, that's what my boss tells me every day.
Aw. You know, I didn't tell you what the podcast picture was. It is of this cool bakery. I think it's called One House Bakery in Benicia. And they've got this amazing back patio area that is covered with these plants and vines, but in this really nice, beautiful way. It can sometimes get pretty hot in Benicia, but it's always really cool because you're surrounded by plants and they're keeping you cool. It's amazing. So you can see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. Now, I didn't mention the day today is National Lasagna Day. And you know lasagnas. They're wonderful, not the healthiest thing. You can do kind of a healthy thing with it where you use squash instead of the noodles. But yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? Hopefully. Oh, what? I think we're going back to 2000 and... No, we're going past the 2000s, past the 90s. into the 80s. Nope. No, we didn't go that. No, this is 1990. And I think that's a little bit of Roxette performing. This is me, one of my early radio jobs in Santa Barbara at Y97. This was in 1990. Wow.
Most Music 197, we are talking now with Chubby D, who's coming back now from the Poison concert.
We're on our way back. We are on the 405 freeway. How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, I'm fine. We just hit number 1 a little while ago. It was Mariah Carey, Vision of Love.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. We waited all the time for Mariah Carey, who's an excellent singer, I might add. But
you're kind of cute, too. I thought I saw her here tonight.
Oh, yeah?
You wouldn't believe some of the people that were there. We saw everybody there. And now we're cruising back about 75. We're speeding. It's New Year's.
Yeah, well, hurry up and get here, because I want to go home.
Oh, really? You're not going to party with me?
Maybe a little bit.
All right. I got the... just kidding. All right, man. Are we going to do the Bartman or what?
Let's do it right now.
Let's do the Bartman on your Most Music. It's Y97. See you in a minute, Mike.
Do the Bartman.
Oh, my gosh, the Bartman. So this was New Year's Eve, 1990. So 89 had just ended. And that guy I was talking to, he later produced a Mariah Carey album, that's very ironic that here I was kind of going, oh, we waited all this time for Mariah Carey. And then that guy, Chucky D, is that what he later went by Demiza, I think was his name. And he produced a Mariah Carey remix and got popular. Also, he was a program director for Power 106 in Los Angeles for a while. But back then, he was just a kid. Nice guy. And we were working there together on New Year's Eve, sort of. He was going to a Poison concert. The rock band Poison. Okay, one little more clip, and it will end the podcast.
97.5 KHGY, playing the most music. That's Giant Steps and their latest Into You. And we are talking with Susie and Liz, the Party Twins. And what are you two doing right now, Susie and Liz?
We're molding at home.
Molding? What are you molding?
What?
What are you molding?
Some clay.
Oh, and what are you making it into?
Your little sister. My sister.
That should look interesting, eh? This is the latest from a woman named Enya. It's called Orinoco Flow, Sail Away.
Orinoco Flow? Oh my gosh. Okay, so this was from 1989. So here technically we're in the 80s. And Enya's first big hit. Wow. Oh, Enya. So, of all the girlfriends I had, to all the girls I loved before, Julio Iglesias, but a lot of them, for some reason, were Enya fans, I guess. So why isn't Enya playing in San Jose tonight, is my question. So that's a little bit of going back with Matthews, back as very young Mike Matthews there. But you can tell me what you think about the times, how they've changed, or how have they stayed the same? You can call me 510-228-4640. And with more ways to reach me, here's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!